We're going right now. Like we're live right now. Oh! Good evening. Welcome to Off Color, powered by Versa, Colorado. I'm your host, the Tan Tigress, aka Rebecca Henderson. Oops, that was backwards. Anyway, our intros are always a little bit rough, and you may notice that I have a very special guest this evening. Actually, guest host. Her name is Montyy Taj! Where's my button? Okay, that's fine. So we're changing up things up a little bit here at Off Color, powered, or should I say, empowered by Versa, Colorado. One of the things I love about Versa, Colorado is they that's the wrong language. They provide, they assist, they empower people who normally wouldn't have a voice in media. Boom! Yes! Okay, sorry. I love this button, and they are so sorry they ever told me about it. All right, so if you're just tuning in for the first time to Off Color, whether the podcast or Off Color powered by Versa, just know that we talk about race, we talk about identity, we talk a lot of beep. We're not supposed to curse on here, but if we do, just, I don't know, tell the FCC.
We won't be welcome back.
No, you will always be welcome back. Actually, I'm so glad you brought that up because we will be having some guest hosts on here. Monty is my first guest host, and I am really excited. And I'm going to give you a quick rundown on what Monty does. Montyy Taj is host of the incredibly popular podcast, Comfortably Excluded. Yay! I don't know why I'm also doing it. Like, I'm pressing the button and doing it. But anyway, yeah, see, it feels good, doesn't it? It just has like a feeling. So, Monty, thank you for coming.
Yeah, of course.
And I just want
for the Tan Tigress.
I mean, what I like in melanin, I make up in militant. Ayo! Okay, rose hay all day, baby. So can you tell me just kind of briefly, like, I know your podcast is about being Black in a predominantly white city, which is Denver, Colorado, which is where we currently are. Mm-hmm. So can you just talk a little bit briefly about what Comfortably Excluded is, how it came to be, and why you're doing it?
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, I moved to Denver, Colorado a little over a year ago, and coming from outside of DC, this was absolutely such a culture shock. I mean, I'm used to being in white spaces, predominantly white spaces. I have a very good articulate voice, so obviously white people love me.
Well, I know that you are quite good at code switching.
Absolutely. Artiste as I am. But it was just a little different, like, because no matter, even if I am in white spaces, I've always been able to find community and really been able to help cultivate that and take my place in there. So it was kind of hard here. And I made Comfortably Excluded, honestly, to complain about my coworkers. I was obviously a diversity hire. I was very obviously a diversity hire. And I just wanted to rant and rave. And in the process of doing that, I actually started to meet a lot of creatives and entrepreneurs here of color. And I got tired of telling my family that, you know, people of color do live here because they believe that me and my partner are the only ones. So
Okay.
Like people really love and really respond, and I think that's pretty cool because a huge part of my fan base is on the East Coast. So a lot of my East Coast friends and a lot of my following over there are getting more interested to see what Black people in the West and the Midwest are really like. So. So it's been a lot of fun.
That was a problem I had though, because I kept calling this the Midwest, and these people be getting
mad. This is not the Midwest.
You call Colorado the Midwest?
This is not the Midwest.
Forget
they will definitely let you know that. So I say West, Midwest, whatever y'all want to categorize.
I want to keep it. I want to be very comfortable.
Anything past Jersey is just out there for me.
So, me too. I know.
Just where I'm from. So
you are so amazing, and I'm so. And I feel like when I asked you to come guest host with me, I was like, girl, will you be the Jesus to my marrow? What? I know. I was like, is she going to take that like the wrong way? Like, what's going to happen?
Not at all.
But I do. If people are not familiar with Jesus and marrow, you need to get familiar with the Ez's right now.
Absolutely. Get you some Bodega Boys.
You guys know about the Bodega Boys? Anybody here ever heard of them?
Absolutely.
Hey.
Get you some Bodega Boys in your life.
Yeah, I'm a fan of them, but one of the reason I got nervous a little bit about saying that to you is because Jesus is dark skinned, Marrow is light skinned,
and there's that dynamic. Yeah, you know how that goes.
Okay, so speaking of colorism,
I knew it was coming.
All I ever want to do is talk about colorism.
Jesus to my marrow.
Yeah.
Speaking of colorism.
Okay, stand by. Take a little sip. Okay, let's go to commercial. I'm just kidding. They're doing commercial.
They're just gonna watch us drink.
They know what's up. You have a toast too. Any comments, questions, concerns? Okay, we'll continue on. So, the other day, I was on the Twitters. Follow me on Twitter. Rebecca Mendation, RBK, MEND. It's too long. I guess follow the real Tan Tigress. Either way, Comfortably Excluded, Monty. The point is, I saw a video, and people were very upset about this woman. And I'm old, so I wasn't sure even who it was. Yeah. It was a woman, Bianca, the Prince family. Do you guys know about that? Anybody know about that? Anybody hear about this?
I still don't know who this woman is, but I'm familiar with the story.
Okay. So she in the store in the video it shows what is appears to me to be a biracial woman, half black, half white. I'm guessing. I don't really.
She
know
was
her.
a very fair skinned,
very fair skinned, but black.
But you can tell she's a
black.
color. Yeah, you know,
yeah.
it's in the nose and the lips. You can tell.
And she also had like cornrows.
Yeah.
But okay, so that doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. But the edges were very.
The edges, yeah.
So the concern about it was they were talking about their baby. That's how it was framed. That the baby. They were concerned about the baby's color and the baby's eye color. And when I saw it as a mixed race person who's married to a mixed race person who's here right now. Hey, boo, love you. I don't have to ask if he's watching because he's here. Okay, we can talk about that later. So, anyway, sorry, I always be getting distracted and stuff.
You know, that's what happens when the man's is in the room.
I know, he's real cute too. Get me all distracted in that button-up shirt. Okay. Yeah. Everything okay, producers? Sorry, I had to ask because y'all people look nervous. Is everything okay?
No, they're making me nervous.
I know, because they're like walking around. I'm like, is everything okay?
To look, but I'm like,
is it okay?
Is the building on fire?
We're not going anywhere. We're not going anywhere. You know why? Because how often do you get to have two women of color get their own space, their own platform to talk about the things they want to talk about? How often do you get to see that?
Nope.
That's what I'm saying. That's why we empowered by Versa. I mean, anyway, Colorado. Versa, Colorado. Okay, who's blowing up? What's happening? Everybody okay? All right then. So Prince family, it's not Prince like Prince.
Yeah, I would say, let's clarify. This isn't like, Prince.
No,
this
is like some other young people.
The family's name is Prince. It's the Prince family.
Okay, so the point is they're talking about the baby's complexion. And I commented that sometimes when you are mixed race, you are talking about how the baby's going to look because like literally anything could come out, right? And so that was my case because my husband's mixed, I'm mixed. Like the baby could have come out white, the baby could come out black. The baby, you know what I mean?
Those recessive genes.
Well, speaking of recessive, my kid came out with red hair and blue eyes. So
it happens.
That was a wrap. I was like, okay. But I felt like when I watched the video as a mixed race person who had a baby, I felt like it wasn't so deeply entrenched in white supremacy necessarily, but that it was more just like a curiosity over like, what will this person look like?
Yeah.
You know, because our genes are so diverse.
I think what was upsetting to people watching the video was more so the tone and the nature of the conversation. Like, this baby still has placenta juice on its forehead, and you're telling it, I thought you would have looked like this. I thought you would have had pretty eyes. I thought you know, like, so it's a difference in, I wonder what my kid is going to look like versus even seeing the kid and go, damn, I thought maybe, but that's cool. But the conversation, and it lasted for a while. Like, they were really hung up on the complexion of the kid, which it seems that they wanted the kid to be darker, but they wanted the kid to have blue eyes, which is very bizarre. It was just, it's definitely deeply rooted layers of colorism that this, and from what I can tell, the father is a darker skinned man, and I guess, I don't know. And I think at one point she even like tells him like, oh, you know, like, this is your fault. Essentially, her, like, the eyes not being the right color is essentially your fault, kind of thing. And it's,
so it's so funny because I feel like two people can watch something and see it so differently. Yeah. Because
I didn't think about it until when you said, well, I just thought she was just kind of
just commenting wondering.
Like, wondering. Whereas me on the other end of the spectrum, it's like, so what, that baby not cute because she has brown eyes?
Exactly.
Like, that baby isn't, like, she's not the right complexion. And it's like, again, this, like, we are fresh in the hospital. We're not talking about, like, we at home having this conversation. Like, they pulled that baby out, put it on her chest, and she instantly started criticizing this individual.
So it feels like that, and I feel like my husband's over there shaking his head because he knows.
DNA test, Ken, ain't your baby. Oh wait. Oh, the lady in the video.
Show the picture.
Oh, okay. No, because when Kingston was born, and we did video it. It is on YouTube. It's unlisted though, y'all. It's unlisted. But when we had him, the first thing I had a C-section, so I was like, oh, like I was on drugs, right? However, I did say, that I thought I said, oh, he's got, and I was on drugs. I said, because it's already out there in the world. But I did say, he's got a little negroid nose. Like, that's what I said. I was so happy about it, though. That's the thing, I was happy about it. And then I said, his eyes are brown. And I was like, I dominate, because I thought his eyes were brown, because I was, like, drugged and shit, and I didn't know. Also, the baby had red hair, and they were all yelling, oh, the baby has red hair. And meanwhile, my husband is like, shh, don't tell her that. Now, I know that sounds crazy, but I want to give, like, empathy to this woman and sympathy, because I feel like after you have the baby, you're, like, all crazy, and you want to see what it looks like. You're very curious. And so, to me, that was the impression I left with, because I actually lived that experience. Yeah. And so,
I mean, it also was, I've only seen just that clip of her being very just like, I'm like, damn, the baby just got here.
But I also think they were funky, because if you watch the whole clip, what I think is more problematic, I guess, okay, but I think it's more problematic is they said he wanted to video and they wouldn't let him video the birth of his own child. And that's not on there. That's not part of the video. And so, like, that to me is, like, really, like, messed up. I think
that's probably what we should be more concerned about than what this baby eye color and skin color looks like.
Yeah, and so to me, that is the most, like, egregious part of that video is they, like, gave him, like, a fake job to, like, hold her leg or something so that he could not video. That's what they said. So it was just weird to me. Again, it's like this idea of, like, policing people's bodies, right? Like, women's bodies. Like, I'm sorry, if I wanted Ken, that's my husband, Ken. If I wanted him to videotape me getting a C-section, and he could do it, which he did. I thought he looked a little queasy, but he did it. So it was a very scary.
Good job, Ken.
Yeah.
By the way, when you have a C-section, they take all your organs out and, like, put them on the table next to you. It is really horrible.
I didn't see that.
But, so anyway, the baby's born.
So I'm going to go ahead and refill that birth control for sure.
Yeah, I highly recommend that. Seriously. Having a baby ain't for just anybody. That's all I'm saying. Speaking of having a baby ain't just for anybody, I want to talk about a show I watch. and I don't know if anybody else watches this show. Does anyone in this room or in the world on Facebook, do you watch The Handmaid's Tale? No. So Handmaid's Tale's on Hulu. It just, the new season is out.
Yes,
and so like, to me, I always would joke, and I said that The Handmaid's Tale is made by a documentarian from the future that's trying to warn us.
That's trying to warn us. Yeah, I could
Right?
see that. I could absolutely see
And
that.
so for people who are not familiar with Handmaid's Tale, it is post-apocalyptic, dystopian,
Is it?
totalitarian.
Is it really post?
It doesn't feel post
Feels
anymore.
kinda current.
It feels very current.
Feels kind of
So
current.
the women have no control over their bodies. They're forced to like give birth, and essentially they are black women circa 1843. Right.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's a criticism of the show, because I watch it and I feel like a lot of white women tell me they can't watch it. It's too much. It's like so upsetting to them. But you just rolled your eyes. I saw it.
Life is so hard.
No, but I feel like I don't have a problem watching it. Do you have a problem watching it?
No, because of the
We got comments. Leah.
Like James says, he can't watch it either, so it's white men.
Because white James is the problem.
White people are like, oh, this is so terrible. And we're like, oh, that's like my grandmother's story.
So I want to say, yeah, I mean, that's
Yeah.
sadly how a large percent of the country was built on the backs and, well, the wombs of
Yes.
black women. So,
Yes.
yeah, it is. It's tough to watch, but at the same time, I feel like, please save those tears, ladies. I don't have time for that shit. I'm sorry. It's I'm sorry. Yeah, it's so uncomfortable. It's so tough.
Yeah.
But guess what? This is real. Sadly, this was real life at one period of time, and we don't know if that's going to happen again. Most likely it will. I mean, like, let's be honest.
Let's be real.
Let's be honest.
It does feel like it's happening, because I don't know if people are aware, have been following the news about the women's and abortion bans that are like happening all across the country right now.
Absolutely.
So I feel like people have been talking about it, but this is like real, because I keep being like, Handmaid's Tale. And I mean, there's more than one state. We have Louisiana, Mississippi, Georgia. What's MO? Missouri? What's Public schools, people.
What's MO? Missouri? Is that Missouri?
It's so embarrassing. I'm embarrassed. Okay.
I love that I said it, but with a question mark.
Is it Missouri? Kentucky, Ohio, Utah, Arkansas, not pronounced Arkansas, and Alabama. Okay, so they're not, the most of them are like 6 to 8 weeks, like a heartbeat state, and I just think
build.
it's just very, the bans are like in process, and so I want people to realize this is happening, and I don't want to like, I'm not going to spend a million years on talking about this, but I will say, like, I had a miscarriage, and after I had a miscarriage, I had to have an abortion to remove
because you got to remove
that.
whatever's left. Yeah.
And so I feel like I could have been, like, under some of these laws,
You could have went to jail.
I could go to jail for
Yes.
that. Okay?
Yes, in the state of Georgia,
Because-
they consider it like.
So what, I'm supposed to
miscarriaging.
just like let that, I feel I'm a mom. I feel really strongly about a woman's right to choose. And I also feel like people are not out here willy-nilly getting abortions. Like, it's like, do you know what I'm saying? And if they are, I always say this, if they are doing that, then you don't want them to be parents anyway. You know what I mean? Like, if they, then they know.
But you
right?
saw that weird old woman who had she's like on her 20-something abortion, and it's just like.
That's good.
Like,
good.
like,
Don't, I'm like,
I'm
don't,
like,
you
okay,
don't need to, yeah.
Go
like,
for it. I'm
you
like,
don't
I'm
need
glad
to.
you understand that your genes probably should not go further than this. I appreciate that. I really appreciate it. I appreciate it.
What?
You gotta have workshop on reproductive justice.
No.
Painful.
It
That
was,
was painful
no,
to
we can
say?
talk about it. Tell us. We have a studio audience. I won't say who it is unless she says her own name.
It does not help protect people who need access to abortion to frame getting abortions as an unhonorable choice.
Right.
So we shouldn't say nobody wants to or nobody wants to get 20. Before
Okay.
the mid-1850s,
Okay.
abortion was a reasonable form of birth control.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah,
We don't
absolutely.
need,
Okay.
Like I just believe.
Can we hear? Yeah. So because our guests in the audience.
And you can be a great mom after 10 abortions.
Right.
No,
So
no one is saying that. Not to put my business out there, but I'm definitely a full advocate and have used that method that I've needed.
Right.
But
Right.
it's when we overflush it and use it, and now we in situations like this where when we do.
What's wrong with
There is no limit, for sure, no.
No, but I think that's
I
the
didn't- And I didn't
perception,
finish
though.
with the story of this woman. Her whole goal is to get in the Guinness Book of World Records, to consistently have these abortions, just to use them.
So see, that's
So I
a
guess I should have
person-
finished that story.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
that's a crazy story.
But no, I do not believe that there is a limit or any of that.
Okay. I don't think
So,
there is a
no,
limit
I'm-
either, and I really appreciate being checked on stuff always because. But I think that that's one of those things that people will say or use as like an argument against like a woman's right to choose,
Yeah.
or acting like a late term abortion is like, you know what, I just don't feel like having a baby today. Like, you know, I mean, I just it's very terrifying to me that these people are making choices about
Bodies
our
that are not
bodies.
theirs. Like, it's bodies that aren't even
No,
there. So
so-
you can't really police
No.
my body.
Damn right. So everybody in those states that we earlier named who are in the process of possibly having like abortion bans like legislated at this time, Louisiana. I'm sorry, what did you say?
You should know Colorado legislators have already pulled the bill title for this next session. Colorado has the title pulled for the next session, a late-term abortion ban. And we
Late term
should-
abortion bans. Okay, so we need to know that. So we're in Colorado because I know we got worldwide audience and stuff, but we are in Colorado and we have been informed by our incredibly knowledgeable studio audience person that I love secretly. Hey girl, hey. Okay, that Colorado does have that. It's coming up for legislation and we need to be on that shit. So oops, sorry. So you can just like we need to pay attention to what's happening in our legislature at all times.
Which Colorado also right now already has an insane amount of like trap bills for abortion clinics
Yeah.
and things like that
Yeah.
that are in effect, and that's why they close a lot here. So definitely need to get out there and be active.
All right. Good? Everybody okay?
Good.
I don't want people mad at me
Right?
and stuff. I just want to let people know I'm pro-choice.
Oh, I hurt people's feelings. I don't care.
Okay.
It is what it is.
All right, you know what? I'll toast you on that one
It
because I
is
be
what it
getting
is.
messed up. It's all good, fam. Speaking of women, I want to talk about women supporting other women. Do you have the balls to support another woman, Montyy Taj?
Absolutely. I love women. Of all forms. So
Somebody
I
asked me that
absolutely
today.
will support
Actually,
women.
I would like to. I'm gonna go ahead and shout myself out right now. So a friend of mine ran for a local board, and not here in California, and in part because she was inspired by my film project Running with My Girls, which is the documentary I'm making about women of color running for office in Denver. But she was like, we need like a new phrase for like, do you have the balls for that? And so I want to like try it out. So I want to put it out there. If anyone's watching on the old Facebook Live, I'm looking for like a new, strong, woman powered like do you have the balls for it? Do you have any thoughts? I know because you're like quick, Monty. You're a fast one. So what do you think? Like instead of saying like you have cojones, can you be like you got those tetas? Like I don't know what to say.
I mean, personally, I feel like, are you woman enough to support other women?
Ooh!
It takes a strong woman
Okay.
to put aside her feelings and her
Yeah.
feels in her bag. Sadly,
Girl,
not
you
for me
took
though.
you took that road so high because mine was I was like you got a really big clit. Like I was gonna say something.
It takes a strong woman to support other women that I'm really noticing. Like,
No,
a lot of women don't.
no, that one's not gonna work.
No, I don't think you can say big.
Huh?
clit.
When we say eggs, you got the eggs for that?
The
The huevos, the mammary glands, the titties. No,
The nips?
the nips. You got the nips.
tubes?
The tubes. Does anybody have any ideas for us? No ideas at all.
None.
All right, you can follow up on that in the comments
We
later.
will absolutely take all those
All right.
suggestions that you
So,
are thinking of.
No. I hear you. So before I lean into that, I just want to do a quick. Yes, darling, we have questions.
Key says,
Key.
King says, get a pair of ovaries.
Get a pair of
Ooh.
ovaries. Okay.
I like
I'm
that
with
one.
it.
I
I'm
like
with
that
it.
one. That's top of the charts right now. Who can top
Yeah.
that? We'll see.
Your face. You got one? No, studio audience, you got one? Anybody? Nobody. I can't believe all of these women, including my husband, because he's like a lady and I just love him so much, don't have any suggestions. None? Fine. Special guest, you got any? We have a special guest. She's coming on soon. She or he.
I was gonna say you already told me.
Okay.
You
Okay.
already told me.
Oh, okay. We're gonna get to that shortly.
Okay, yeah.
All right. So now I feel like what people have been kind of waiting for, but before I do that, I just want to do a quick.
What about Nisa?
Nisa, I already just talked about her.
No, she won.
She did. Oh, by the way, I inspired someone to run, and they ran and they won.
In Venice.
In Venice.
Council.
Neighborhood council. You gotta start somewhere.
I mean, yeah.
Shouts out.
You gotta start
Nisa.
somewhere.
You know, but you do.
Yeah.
So that's so important.
Change. It is baby steps.
is.
Sometimes you gotta make it happen.
It is. And so, speaking of change, are you waiting? I'm trying to make a dramatic thing, producer. Don't get scared. Okay? I'm trying to be like, speaking of change,
I'm gonna get ready.
I want to talk about my film project, Running with My Girls, which I know you've heard of because you helped us shoot some of it, and I know I still owe you some money, girl, but I'm gonna get it to you. I'm gonna get it.
That's why I'm here.
I got some money for you.
Cut that check.
I got my checkbook.
Cut that
I am ready. Soon as Powered by Versa kicks in, it's gonna be like, woo! Okay, but seriously, you were with us the day, election day.
Yes.
You were following one of our favorite candidates, Veronica Barella,
Yes.
that day. So that was pretty amazing.
She's
so
my new one
we're just
born.
talking about like Denver municipal elections, and if you think municipal elections don't matter, then I don't have to say to you.
No.
Because they matter so much. So Running with My Girls we didn't conclude, but basically we concluded because we had a runoff election. So in Denver, it's like you win, and then you go back and look at the other episode if you want to know about that. However, we had a pretty amazing runoff election here in Denver, Colorado.
It was very interesting.
And I feel like so for people who don't know us, because I got a note by the way that I'm supposed to like try to be better at like explaining stuff. So Monty and I are part of a group called what's the group? Colorado Artists.
Creatives.
What's it called? Artists of Color.
Boom!
Boom! Artists of Color. So we love that group.
Sorry, founders.
It's getting worse and worse. Just drink this. It's fine, man. Rosé all day. Hey. Okay. So we were recently at one of these meetings. So if you're in the Denver metro area, I highly recommend that you sign up for the Denver Artists. Is it Denver Artists?
Creative of Color.
Creators of Color.
Boom, there
Can
it
somebody
is.
just look it up, please?
Is it?
Denver Artists of Color. We do a lot of research here. We're always prepared. Okay. So that group, we were at that group, and the last time that meeting met, we were there.
Drink at that one.
I know. You weren't drinking. I wasn't drinking. Nobody was drinking. We were having a good time. However, we were there, and our special guest was Bobby Lefebvre.
Yes.
Lefebvre. Okay, who has a show coming up called Northside. So here in Denver, if you live in the area, check that out later. I don't know. Put in the links, Leah. Northside, and then we had an extra special guest that day. Do you remember who the guest was that day?
I do remember who that guest was.
What was that guest's name?
That guest was our new District 9 candidate, our new representative, Miss Candi. Yes, Miss Candi.
Candi. Do you like Candi CdeBaca?
Do I?
Yeah. Do you like her? How do you feel about her?
I mean, when you say like, it's like obsessed,
Yeah.
ready, eager to see this change. I think yeah.
Yeah. But I just want to know, like, would you like to see her, like, if it could happen, like, right now? Would you want to see Candi CdeBaca?
I think she's too busy though.
You think she's too busy?
She's very
She
fucking
just had
busy.
that race. It was like a runoff. Like, how could Candi CdeBaca be here
Nah,
with
that'll never happen.
us? How could she be here?
That would never happen. She's too busy.
Ladies and gentlemen, caballeros y damas. Mi amor, mi reina, eso es tu silla. All right.
My dream.
Okay, take your little drinky poo. Candi, 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 Candi. So I would like everyone to know, is everything okay? Yeah, I would like everyone to know that Candi CdeBaca is going to be the key to me getting my Academy Award! So, Candi, I'm sorry, girl. I'm like feeling kind of verklempt still. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
Because So people who don't know who are tuning in, we had a municipal election. We had an election May 7th. Candi was running up against an incumbent who'd been in office for 8 years, okay? And she came in and she took his ass down.
We did.
Yeah.
We did.
That was a tough
Woo,
one.
it was tough. And
It was tough.
and so for people who know, I'm doing this documentary called Running with My Girls, and Candi was one of my subjects of the film, and I just, oh God, it was. People kept saying like I was too close to the project, I was too close to the subject, I cared too much and all that, and that's all true.
How do you make a documentary and not get close to your subject, especially subjects that you believe in?
Yeah.
You're like in our life.
Yeah.
Like experiencing it with us.
Yeah.
It was tough. So I want to, number one, I just want to congratulate you again on your win. So let's just give her a And I want to know how you're feeling today, because this is like, is this your first meeting?
It's
appearance?
really fresh.
Yes. So
I be doing it, you guys.
I've been trying to sleep. We said we were gonna sleep for like a whole month, and yesterday I kept like waking up. You know, you go back to sleep, you wake up. And I would get on my phone and like go look up the results on Denver Gov, because I kept thinking, what if it was a dream? What if it wasn't real? Like I have to go see if it's real. And so like I kept doing it, and then I would just roll over and I would just start laughing, and she'd be like, "What are you laughing?"
Wait, she who?
Wifey.
Come on, bring her out, bring her out, bring her out. We got Carrie Joy in the house.
What's up, fam?
Eastside. Look at this matching outfit.
Do it, babe. All that the light touches.
All that the light touches, Candi. It's
You're a captain now.
Look at me. I'm sorry.
And I hate to cut over, but you are also the first LGBTQ
Woman of
friendly-
color.
woman of color as
To
well.
represent Denver. And the first Democratic Socialist.
And the first person from our neighborhood, from Swansea or Gloveville, to ever represent on council. So we've had a bunch of different things that make this race really important, not only to us, but to the future of Denver and real representation, if that's what we're looking for. This is the first time we're really, really getting it.
Yeah.
I
love it.
I love that. No, girl,
As
you
a
said that.
black queer
I've got a
woman,
chair
you
for
are
you.
just-
Look at
you
that.
gotta represent.
Sit on
You are
down.
me. Like,
Dr. Carrie Joy. Dr. Carrie Joy. Okay, so let's give a little toast. Little toast. Do you have your drink? What happened to your drink, Carrie Joy? Okay, and a cheers. Yes. I know. Listen,
Me and Harry
you know
were
I
like-
stay fancy. I stay fancy.
I haven't eaten something out of dishes in quite a while.
Well, we'll take you out to dinner after, girl. I'm gonna take you out. We're gonna get you some sushi. We're gonna take care of you.
Everything is in boxes, cans, containers.
on the way to go.
No,
Yeah.
I know. I mean, whew.
Yeah.
It has been a really long journey. It has been it's been a year or more than a year.
It's over a year. It's been, I think, about 18 months.
Yeah.
And so yesterday, I mean, I kept thinking about how much footage you have to wade through for that documentary. Because we watched a documentary and I was just like, oh my God, I don't even know how this process happens, just
Okay.
picking what's important.
How it
what's
happens
not.
is people need to join my Patreon or send me some PayPal money because I need some editors. It is like seriously.
I actually have a couple of people that I want to push your way.
send them to me.
Did you like my
We
video?
loved your video.
Okay, good.
We
All
loved
right,
your
perfect.
video. So
There
if you
were
haven't
a
seen
couple
it,
of
it's on her
people
page.
who
Yeah.
participated in that, and I would love to connect you.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic. So for me, I just had a couple of like questions about I guess just how the race, how it went, because you know we were there before, we were
Yeah.
watching you, we've been with you this whole time, and it's like
Trying hard not to give impact, like inputs and what's going on, like trying to be just like that third
Yeah.
party, but at the same time, like really going through it with you guys and
yeah,
feeling
like
it.
how was that for you, the whole experience? Can you just sum it up real quick?
I mean, it's kind of been like I'm an outsider in my own life. You know, there's been this element of not being able to participate in my life, so that we don't mess up the campaign. You know, like going onto my social media and like looking through what people are saying and how they're talking about me, how they're talking about the campaign, and not being able to really participate in my life in that way was interesting. Even being in social settings, we were never there for the last year and a half. We were never there for us, for fun, because it was, you know, an authentic like reason to be there. We were there to put on like this performance at debates, at forums, and it just was really exhausting. You know, I'm the kind of person that loves to be learning, loves to be creating, and the process of campaigning is like capturing a piece of you in a bottle and like carrying that around and letting everybody have just what's in that bottle. Like you don't get to be the full version of you in those settings. And so yesterday just felt really liberating to know that, okay, we're done. Like we can be real people again. We can be real humans again. The things that we are coming to say don't have to be part of a stump speech. They don't have to be crafted in a way that's gonna reduce the harm. If you are talking about caring about homeless people, you know, it's crazy. So I just feel like I get to be normal again.
Can I just say though, I mean, throughout the entire campaign, there's been nothing fake about you though. That's the thing.
I was about to say,
like
because
because even throughout like a lot of the debates, you know what I mean? Like a lot of times it is a performance. A lot of times people are just like saying what they're being told to say. And one of the things I love about you, and people don't see this, but on the back, like, you know, in the background, when they would always try to prep you with like how to say things or how to pivot sometimes, and you'd be like, no, I'm gonna say what I gotta say. Like it's just what it is.
So I will
always
say
done
that is one of my favorite parts of my upcoming documentary, Running with My Girls. But I feel like I loved how like I would be there and see people tell her that too, and be like, and Candi like, and I just there's one scene where I can't wait, y'all, you're gonna love this. But you're like, I'm not saying that. I don't believe that. And it was like, to me, I was like, this bitch better be our councilwoman. You know what I mean? Because I was just like, this is what we need.
Yeah, there's no BS, there's no filter when it comes to you. And I really enjoy candidates that are raw and real and honest. And I love that when you weren't sure about things, you didn't try to BS it or sugarcoat. You just said, you know, I don't know how we're gonna fix that, but guess what? I'm willing to. We'll figure it out. Yeah. You got inputs. This is your city as well as mine, and I really love it. And nothing about it felt like it didn't feel cheesy or like she's just saying it.
None of it was ever fake. It was just a very small slice of it.
I understand.
You know, the parts where I was, you know, in debates and in forums, you have 60 seconds or 45 seconds to say something. And I'm an educator, I'm a thinker. Yeah. And so to really condense things down into 30 seconds, you lose the quality of what you're trying to communicate sometimes. Sometimes you get lucky and pack that punch and it says everything that the world needs to hear. But we're talking about literally changing the world. Like you can't pack that into 30 seconds or 60 seconds.
You gotta bring the binder.
Right, especially when there's like a concerted effort. Like people understand my side of it, but they don't understand like how my side is supposed to function when I'm working against a side that is like molded to do a specific thing, right? And so when I'm showing up in my most authentic way to a debate or a forum where the opponent has really crafted or contrived this narrative that's maybe not factual, that's maybe not even directly connected to what they're asking us, but they're like, they're trained to use that and just always fire. It's like, what are you even talking about? That's what I wanted to say most of the time. It's like, what are you saying? Like
you're
that
just
doesn't even make
circles
any sense.
that like you're not saying.
No, my hands down. My favorite was when you were like, it's really hard to debate lies.
Straight out the gate. Let's just go ahead and start with
that was the last one, and at that point I was like, if people aren't gonna vote for me by now, like this
then
is
whatever.
not gonna, it's not
pass
gonna
or fail
them,
at this point.
But I am not gonna let this keep happening in this situation. I was like, I can't do it. Like I have to point out that this is not true.
Yeah, no, it was amazing. It was amazing. And I feel like you ran an amazing race. You were incredible. You were authentic. You were your real self. But as someone who's in the public eye, regularly. Like, I know you have to be so careful, and like that was part of the impetus for me for making this film, was that people told me, including a person who's in this room right now, that I could run for office, and I was like, that's insane, and I could never do that. And this documentary has showed me that it's true. I could never run for office.
It takes a lot.
I couldn't do it.
I
couldn't do it. I don't know where you like drew the strength from. Like, can you talk about that?
I was gonna say, can I just how did the election and everything with your relationship? How did you guys like keep that together with you
that's
being
such a
the
good
shell
question.
of, you had to be a shell of yourself for half of pretty much over a year.
Yeah.
What did that do for you guys' relationship? Like how?
I think personally for me, it made me feel even closer to her and closer to the people who were around us, like my parents, like a couple of other friends, because I realized how safe they were and how much they fed me and filled my cup when everything else was just like sucking out, depleting me. And so I think it's strengthened our relationship. I don't know what else could be thrown our way that would be more challenging than this. And so I personally felt closer. What'd you think? I mean, we were crazy at many times. Like that doesn't mean, just because it made us feel closer and feel like we could get through anything together doesn't mean that we didn't have hard times. Because there were moments we wanted to fight each other. There were moments we wanted to like fight everybody else.
That's where I lived. To be honest. Nah, man, like this is my girl, like, you know, and she's
You can't say that. You can't do that. You can't do that.
And I wanted to fight everybody.
Guess what?
The whole world.
My documentary, I have it on video, girl. When you did get in that fight.
Oh yeah.
Yes, you
It wasn't
did.
a fight. It was a fight. It was a verbal confrontation.
It was
with a
hot.
person.
It was
They
hot.
had put her in jeopardy. He put her in danger.
Oh wait,
did.
this
He
is
did.
on film?
Yeah, she was there. She got it. And so,
You know, Rebecca be just rolling.
I
Always
actually
be
really-
rolling.
I
So
really
you
wanna
guys
see
have to see
it.
this film.
The
I'm
film-
just saying, like
The film has to get made, so we also need some money. Leah, put it in the list.
put that patron in the list.
Hopefully we have some campaign like money left, and I would like to make a contribution because, you know, for a person who had to quit my job in December and literally raise thousands of dollars every day just to be a
Y'all better go
viable
off.
I'm gonna cut you
candidate.
off for 1
Y'all
second because
better go
she had to raise all this money. She's doing all this stuff. She quit her job. She's working, and you know who's one of my top contributors for my film projects? Candi CdeBaca.
she's real, y'all. It's the real deal right here.
So she gave me money.
She wasn't making nothing for herself.
But
She wasn't making nothing for
and
herself.
she gave it to me. I'ma cry.
I mean, same thing with Miguel out of District 8.
Yeah.
You know, like she was
Shit,
the
we voted
the
for
number one
Miguel.
contributor to his campaign and making no money for herself, like, because she believes in the
So
cause.
this
But I
win
think that-
was absolutely beyond overwhelmingly deserved.
We needed
But
that.
that's the thing I think that has always fueled me, and I think that is what will continue to push me forward, is that when I feel my pain, when I feel like I don't have any money, I don't have a job, I'm trying to do the right thing, like why can't the universe just give me what I need? Like it makes me like more empathetic to other people who are doing the exact same thing. And so when I can see other people going through the exact same thing, it's like if I just put this back out there into the world, like the world will give it back to me. The world will give it back to me. And it does every single time. It's like a tried and true like
Damn, now I'm about to
method.
cry.
And it's real. We have this joke all the time, and I meant to wear my shirt, but we couldn't find it in all of our mess. But Carrie made a special shirt for me. You saw the Jesus Loves You
Jesus
shirt.
loves you.
So that's like my thing. It's this joke that we have because I'm not a religious person. And like I had some people who were pushing me hard in my life at a point because of that. And I was like, I don't need to be religious. Jesus loves me.
Boom.
Like,
Come on.
and
She's been saying this since I met her, and it's crazy because y'all know I was super religious like back in the day.
Yeah.
And so,
Carrie Joy is one of our guests, by the way, so you can go back and look in the archives for that. Sorry, you can hear all about her.
Absolutely.
Her upbringing. Woo!
Right.
That was
Grew up
crazy
in-
shit.
in a really legalistic church, and so always looking for that virtuous woman, right? And I didn't know that I was gonna find the most virtuous woman outside of the church. You know what I'm saying? Like Jesus genuinely does love her every time. Like it's proven. I mean,
Don't let
look
the
at
church.
best parking spot.
Don't let the church fool you and pretend like ain't no good people out there.
No, not at all. I'm just saying. I found my virtuous woman.
You grow up feeling like my virtuous woman got to be in church if I'm deeply rooted in religion.
That's what I was taught. That's what I was taught.
That's what you're taught.
Well, I mean, I wasn't taught to find a woman,
Not
but I'm
the
just
way.
saying. First of all, first and foremost.
First and foremost, the church growing up did not.
Hell no. I'm sorry. No.
But that is church. Like if we understood like the meaning of what that is, like put your hand up, baby. Put your hand up.
Oh.
Like it says, I am God, because like we are God, and we have that same power that we try to like separate from ourselves and put into this external entity. It's all internal, being able to donate to you, being able to donate to Miguel, being able to do something helpful for somebody in my community when my life is falling apart. Like that's what church is. When you when you sacrifice for somebody else because that's going to come back to you later, because that's why you're struggling. Like that's what church is to me, and that's what my work is.
Come on.
Okay.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Okay.
Amen.
But this was a miracle.
Amen.
I mean, this was a miracle, and this was like our race. I think is just proof that paying it forward really does work. Every single thing that has happened throughout this entire race has been because of paying it forward, and it's like the universe, the debt of the universe just coming back, pouring back into me. Like all of the things that people did for free for us, all of the things that people gave us in kind, our office space, every single thing that happened to us was because someone said, oh, like you're down. Like I know you'll always stand up. I know you'll always help with this. Like I'll come and help with you.
Yeah. And I feel like that is so much about like community, and I want people to think about that, like when you're working in your communities, like bringing people together, because to me, like the film that we're making, and like we're making it, you know what I mean? Like, cause literally everybody in this room has given to buy shit, like every single person in here. And so, except you two, so I'll get you later, okay? You guys can follow up on the Patreon.
Okay.
But
PayPal, Venmo, it all works.
But I feel like contributing, I'll take it now, it's fine. Contributing, bringing people together, what is actually like one of the themes of my film. And I do feel like this election for me, because I know you guys were very focused, like District 9, like this is our race. So I was over there, I was in other races, I was in the mayoral race, like I was, and I saw things I did not like coming out of various campaigns.
Hashim is waiting to hear it.
Oh, Hashim, wait. Hashim.
Did he put his popcorn meme?
He can wait.
That popcorn
Me
meme.
too,
He's just always ready.
I'm gonna wait, and let me tell you what. I'm thinking like Hot Shade might be around in a week and a half to do a little co-hosting with me, okay? And then we can really get into it, because I feel like we're a little too close right now, to be honest. I feel like some people might have a little hit out on Will Henderson. So
I do want to know though.
I got all the tea.
To be you, like you had a really cool job to be in the middle of multiple campaigns the way that you were. Every single, no matter how down for each other we were, and how in alignment we were with our values and our vision, every campaign has its own little culture. Every campaign has its own dynamics happening. And most of us, like candidates, were really ignorant to what it felt like in each other's campaign. None of us really wanted to burden each other with too many of the details of our own respective campaigns. So like sometimes we would complain or vent, but for the most part we kept it pretty separate. And I think that like when I see the film, it's going to be awesome, because to see what everybody else was going through at the same time that I was going through my own thing, I want to know what the differences were. I want to know what like the similarities were. I want to know like what made everybody else cry, what made everybody else cuss people out, what made people fire people. Like I want to know all those things.
I mean, and so we can
right.
But I mean, because also like I really want to encourage other people to step into their power, just like Candi has. You know what I'm saying? Like, that post that I had made, I was saying that she was chosen because she answered. You know what I'm saying? Like we're all freaking chosen. It just depends on if you're gonna go ahead and step out and answer. And so I really like it's important that we do understand that regular people need to run these spaces, our city. When I say that, I mean collectively. You know what I mean? Like we're empowering each other to step into that space.
So, but I think we have to also be careful about like who's the person we pick to do that to get us there. Like, for example, I am not the right choice, right? Like, no, I should not be running for office. That's not my lane. That's not a thing.
That's why I just have a platform.
Right. Monty and I, we're with
We
it.
have the
You know what I mean?
platform
Like,
to make sure you all are seen and heard. Yeah.
But we want to support candidates like you.
But the fact that you know that, like, I think that is a really important part of it. You know, if you're saying you're not the right choice, like you can't win a race thinking that. Like I had to talk myself into believing that I was the right choice for 5 years before I even decided to run. And so like that belief that you're not the right choice, like that's unlearning that you have to do way before you jump into the race. Because every single day of the race, someone is telling you you're not the right choice. Right. And so you have to already come with a very deep-rooted, strong belief that you are absolutely the right choice and nothing can shake you to believe otherwise. Because every single day, that is the goal. Make you believe you are not the right choice.
And I mean, it's just crazy because what Candi proved on Tuesday is that we can do this thing differently. Because the reason why people are trying to say that she's not the right choice or any of us aren't the right choice is because they want us to maintain the status quo. You feel me? But like the moment we step in there and we're saying like, no, it doesn't have to be done this way. Obviously it's not working for all of us, so we have to change something. And so she walked in and said, we're going to change the game. We're going to change the way we're doing things. I'm not going to go ahead and just step into your mold to be whatever, representative you think it is I need to be. I'm going to be who I am and represent my people and we're going to represent ourselves together. And just like she invited everybody to city council the first meeting, like nobody does that. Who does that?
Wait,
you know what I'm
when is the
saying?
first meeting?
So we get sworn in July 15th.
July
Right,
15th.
so
I'm gonna be there like screaming.
I dreamed of this every single day of like the campaign. I would tell Carrie I can't wait till that first city council meeting. I can't wait until like people are not coming for a forum to ask me what I will do. I can't wait till they're coming to city council to make sure that I'm doing what I said I was gonna do and tell me what else we can do.
That's how we do.
Yes. So that is something that I got a couple beefs with the city council situation. So the first time I ever even like went to a city council meeting, it wasn't even in my own city. It was in Aurora.
City council meetings are my favorite thing in the world.
But it was in Aurora. It was for someone. It was for Elizabeth Epps. Okay, Elizabeth Epps was fucking. Oops.
Bleep, bleep.
Elizabeth Epps was in jail, and I realized the power. That was another huge part of this film, was I realized the power that municipalities have. I feel like people were calling on her behalf from like the highest levels of our state government, and they couldn't do anything because the municipality had that power.
Yeah.
And that to me was like a very strong like wake up call. I was like, oh, this is the most important thing for me in my life.
Which is what made me cyber stalk you forever.
And
I saw that story break. I was like, what?
Who
Who is this woman and why?
But it's what's also crazy is because
They
when we were canvassing, man, we would be knocking doors, talking to people on the street, and they were
That
just
was
like,
insane.
the only election that we participate in is federal. Like you hear it all the time, and I'm just like, we're so deceived. You know what I'm saying? Like
but you had to. For me, I had to take that deception and figure out slowly that it was deception because I went straight to the top. The first campaign I ever participated on was Obama's campaign. And
That's
so,
what we're taught.
That's my half black, half white brother.
Right. And then I ended up moving out to DC, and my first job was doing. Well, before I left to DC, I was working for the National Conference of State Legislatures, and so we were primarily supporting statewide legislators. Kind of did that. Then I ended up doing national policy, and I got to see how not a lot gets done at the federal level. Even at the state level, in a state like Colorado, we kick most of the power down to the locales. And so for Denver, our local government, we have no checks and no balances. In other cities, you have city and county overlapping. So you'll have city councilmen or aldermen, and then you'll have county commissioners. And they're supposed to be holding each other accountable. In Denver, Denver is a city and a county, so our city council people are both. And so being they call that a home rule city. Being a home rule city, we have power to legislate beyond what the state does. And every city has power to be a buffer for what the feds do. And so when you think about it, like legalization of marijuana in this state happened because of legalization in Denver. And so
we broke the law. Actually.
We need officials who understand that power and understand how to navigate that in a way that sets the trend and the dynamic so that all of Colorado adapts. Because if Denver does it, Colorado is likely to move in that direction. We just need people in Denver who will take us in that direction.
Like you?
Like you?
We in there.
It's real.
It's amazing.
It was funny. My partner was checking the polls more than I was. He was like,
It was
"Oh, she's close. She's got 50."
I mean, as soon as we got the first round of results, I was like, "Oh, we got it.
Yeah.
It's a wrap."
Yeah.
That was the only thing that I was nervous about because our people vote late. You know what I'm saying?
You know, we always got
So,
to
but as soon as I saw it,
we gotta go to work first.
I had to say though, because this
gotta
show
go
was
to work
supposed to
first.
start at 6:00, and I swore because we have a white producer, I was like, this show's going on at 6, but it didn't. It did not. So
Your allies
we don't
can
always
fail you
know.
as well.
We
Remember
just
that.
don't always know how things are going to turn
Yeah.
out.
And for us, like we knew on May 7th, 55% of our district voted against the incumbent. So there was no doubt in my mind that people wanted a different person in that seat.
Yeah.
What was scary for me was turnout. We didn't know if all of the people who had turned out so passionately against 300, if they would turn out for this election. And so we just knew, we said if we come in at 7 p.m. above, if we're ahead, it's a wrap. We won this because it's not, we don't know how by how much, but we know that on May 7th, every single hour or 90 minutes after the 7 o'clock results, our share of the vote just kept growing.
No, don't be spoiling my movie, girl.
Yeah, I knew our people. It's pretty public data.
That is now government information. That's public.
Yes. And so we were just like at 7 p.m. If we're just even a couple of percentage points ahead, if we're even like a 1/10 of a percentage point ahead, we're gonna win this.
She did so well that even in the final results, his numbers actually went down.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was just like,
Somebody find that
girl.
picture
That's
of
my girl.
him looking at his beard. I don't want to be a jerk about it, but
I still
it was a
haven't
little
found
sad.
it. I still haven't found
He
it.
was like, okay, you know what? I'm not.
We always have receipts.
I
got
had
the
to be.
screenshot.
I had to be
I'll be
very.
honest.
I had to be very graceful and
Yeah.
accept the call whenever he.
Wait, can you
chose to
tell
continue.
me? Can you tell me what happened in the call? And tell
We
the world.
recorded
This shit
the
is
call.
live. You recorded it for my documentary? Okay, shh.
It's a single party state. Only one person needs to authorize it, but it is there. It is available. But it was nice.
She's
you know,
getting an Academy
this is like where I
Award.
get myself in trouble. I actually felt bad for him.
Aw,
like when he
baby.
called, I was just like, he sounds devastated.
Oh, okay.
Well, you should have paid
And so-
attention. Listen, let's be real. Let's be real.
Well,
A Soul, last week's guest or last episode's guest was like, told him, Albus dropped out of the race. He told him, he said,
did.
drop out now
That's how you know
and
she's a
give
good
your support to
person.
Candy.
That's how you know she's a great
So
person.
that's all.
you all the stuff he did.
But he
know.
said,
That's how
it's
you know
true
she's a
what he
great
said,
person.
that there is all this opportunity in Denver. He'll be fine.
That's what I said on Tuesday night. I was like, we're in an economic boom, so you should have no problem.
got it.
And I mean, no, it's all love. Listen, like I appreciate, him trying to hold down and build an inclusive Denver. But how we build an inclusive
But
Denver
my
is by
issue-
bringing everyone to the table.
But my
Come on
issue,
now.
My issue is that like he didn't know the trend. When we planned that 7 o'clock thing, that if we were ahead we would win. It wasn't because we just hoped for it. It was because we literally
know.
studied
We know
every
yeah.
single
We-
thing that happened on the 7th.
we know our people.
And he had way more resources than we did, way more sophisticated,
Yes.
experienced people around him. And so for them to not know at 7 p.m. that it was a wrap for them and to make us wait until the next day to concede, that was kind of excessive in my opinion. Because once you got to like the 9:30 results, you probably should have made the call because I think that the writing was on the wall.
Yeah.
The writing was on the wall, and I think
You know
that
who did
ego-
call? Jamie Gillis, which I will not speak about at this time.
I mean,
Because we are out
I
of
don't
time.
have to.
Look,
That was really clear.
look,
Sadly.
my drink is nearly done, so that means the fun is concluding.
What I committed to was that whoever gets in there for the mayor is who I will be holding accountable.
Hey,
That's
so-
all I need.
Brother
That's all I
Hancock,
need.
we're gonna be holding you.
Michael Hancock, you're
Right
always
up.
invited. You're invited to Off Color whenever
Oh,
you want.
Michael knows. Michael knows.
He knows.
He
what's
knows.
up.
He knows.
He knows. He's seen the writing on the wall.
Yeah.
And you know what the writing says? Candi CdeBaca.
That is why they worked so hard.
I
You know,
know.
it was the
I know.
mayoral campaign that was working against me as well.
Yes.
I wasn't running for mayor, and somehow we had the mayor's people consistently trying to dump money into our race, trying to create the narrative around our race. And so
But we here now.
we knew.
Okay, so yeah.
sorry.
So we're here now.
There's so much petty. There's so much petty inside me, but I'm
Girl, no, I'm Petty. My name is Petty LaBelle.
I'm trying to let this.
Petty LaBelle.
When the
My
man
middle
speaks.
name
Petty Wop all
is
day.
hashtag Petty Wop.
I'm petty walk all day. I will go toe to
Petty
toe.
as hell. So in the meantime, as we're gonna wrap it up because I could go all night, as everybody knows, including my husband. Okay, just kidding. We have a kid. We're like so tired. Okay, so but I will say that I wanted to let people know. So one that. Next weekend in Denver, if you're in the area, you want to come up, we have our Juneteenth celebration. And I kind of got, you guys, I got a spin-off. It's called Off Color Streets Edition.
Okay.
So I'm out in these streets and I'm focusing on covering like stories that are not covered. So we have a piece coming out next week and it is going to be all about I'll just say, y'all, it's gentrification. But it's also
What,
about
in Denver?
In
That's not a problem,
gentrification.
though.
No, but it is.
Yeah,
It's
it
gonna
absolutely
feature,
is a problem. Huge one.
Question
Big
though,
black-
yes.
how did you
Big, big
decide between isn't Pride on the same day too?
Yeah, so I was gonna talk about that.
Yeah,
I'll be
Pride
real quick.
and
Yeah.
Juneteenth is all in the
Because
same
to
weekend.
me, it's a bit frustrating that Pride is all month. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Juneteenth is like that's.
Why did they pick
Why-
that?
You could pick another weekend. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, I'm not gonna be here for either.
Talk to your councilwoman about that.
Yeah, well,
Can we get Pride?
I was
moved
gonna
to
let the people
following
know. Y'all need
weekend?
to change it because the people that are in charge, like they have the power to just pick a new date. It's really that simple, you know. So
Okay.
obviously, yeah, we'll
Okay.
definitely.
But what is still pretty awesome is that I don't know if you guys know, but Denver's Juneteenth is one of the hugest Juneteenth celebrations in the nation.
And I'm
Like
just
you
mad we
guys
have to
crush
pick.
it here.
You don't have to pick.
I mean, kinda.
But can't you just like go over there and then come
Nah,
over there?
it needs to
and
be
go
in it. It's a
back?
whole month. Like,
Why don't we just
y'all
do
wanna
it all
celebrate
together?
on a whole nother
Yeah.
weekend. That's how I feel.
Let's just do it all together.
I feel the same way.
Why don't we just all do it all together?
And
Okay.
I'm a black queer
Well,
woman as well.
I have lots of
believe
opinions about
that
this.
it should be a
I'll be
different
quiet.
weekend.
Yeah.
Because just cause. You know.
Okay, I know, but don't you have to do it on like? Okay, what I'm not gonna get is that. All I'm gonna say is
We
off
all know
color.
I'm gonna be
Off color
fucking
streets
Expo
edition.
on Sunday
Off
night
color
anyway.
streets
It doesn't
edition.
matter.
Okay, but seriously. And then the other thing, this is very serious to me, and I will ask again. Candi CdeBaca, our new Councilwoman Elect for District 9. When is the first City Council meeting
I believe it's the 15th.
Well, I think it's right at.
of July?
What day
Yeah,
is it?
let's check.
We gonna check.
No, the reason I'm asking is because I'm just gonna say.
Yeah. Tell us nothing.
You're asking questions that I don't want to think about for 2 more weeks.
Okay, I allow that. But this is what I will say. Follow me on Twitter. And I will also say what you need to do is we need people to show up. Because for me, the problem with all of these elections is we say, oh, great, yay, we elected our person. And then we just leave them hanging out to dry. And I feel like
Oh,
we
y'all
can't
not
do
doing
that. And I don't want to be
We're not
sad
allowing
about
it.
like, because
I don't feel like Candy's gonna be the type of person
We're
to
not
let
allowing
us.
that.
No, I followed 5 women to office. 5 women. And 2 of them have gotten into their offices. You're one, Chantel Lewis is the other. And I will say though, I feel like once you get into office, we can't let you go, girl. Like we have to support her because she's going up against like the status quo. She's going up against the establishment. She's doing all of these things. And like if we're not there to support her, then you know what I'm saying?
She's not picking out the lunch menu at the schools. We talking about big changes in Denver is what
We need
she's
to change that too, though.
There.
We do.
I'm just saying.
And I don't want. And here's the thing, though.
Obviously.
With the
Different episode.
Oh no,
Talk
no,
about
no,
that
no,
later.
no,
Talk about it. But when we show up, but we can't just show up for one city council meeting, right? And guess what? I know how they do these city council meetings. People can't get to them. They're at the wrong time. They can't go.
They do.
Right?
So here's the thing, they do stuff like, at 5 o'clock or 4:30 during the week, and it's like a lot of
2
people
o'clock.
work. Yeah,
man, I've been to 11 o'clock meetings for like oversight stuff. So what I want to say is, I want people to pay attention. Delegate somebody like me who just be freelancing and stuff. Like, send somebody. Make sure that people. We'll be there. Yeah, we will be there.
Black captains.
You know?
Yeah, we need to make sure that we're demanding alternative ways of participating too, because I would like to see the community participate virtually, remotely, and that's not an option right now. And so it's 2019. Those are the types of things I'm going to ask for, but I'm not going to be able to get it done unless there's extreme pressure from other districts too.
Yes.
And this is where all of our broad support is helpful, because nobody has to live in our district to advance things. We need the entire city pressing on their respective representatives.
All right, perfect. Now, I know I'm way over time. I don't even know what time it is because I'm real drunk, fam. I consent. Okay, so what we're going to do.
Don't have me back here.
We're going to do it. Okay, so here's the things I want people to do. 1, the SIP. That's Carrie Joy's podcast, and it is beautiful, and
Which
I
I
love
just
it.
discovered
Can
it.
you give a little quick
Yes,
shout out?
Yeah, shout out to
You're on
the
hiatus,
sitpodcast.com, or you can check me out at carriejoy.com.
CarrieJoy.com.
Yeah.
Monty.
Oh, Comfortably Excluded. That is comfortablyexcluded.com or all platforms. You know, the
Facebook, Instagram,
the
Twitter,
Apple,
all the things.
you know, the Apple, the Stitcher, the Google,
all the things there.
all the things.
Yeah.
Wait, and then Candi, this is...
You can still go on candyforcouncil.com. I'm going to put up, not today, but within the next week, I'm going to put up probably some kind of form or event updates. But there is currently a form right now where it says commit to vote. If you put your information in there, it'll still go into our mailing list. So that's a tool that I really plan to use going forward to make sure that our people stay engaged. For those of you who don't want our updates on what's going on, just make sure that you unsubscribe if we send you the first one. It's not a permanent unsubscribe, but for now, it'll be about getting updates about what's going on in community.
Okay, I like that. So you're doing, I like how hers all hot. I'm like, tantigers.com, put some money in my Patreon. And next, so we'll be back here. So next week you guys can check out the Off Color Streets edition. And then you can also get to me at tantigers.com. And I have a gift. And so I'd like to do that at this time. Don't look.
I couldn't see.
So I'd like to get, this is just a little gift. I got it from Velvet Wolf.
Okay. Ooh,
I love
I'm sorry.
that song. It's in the Stanley Market. You guys should check it out. It's really good. So this is something, I got you this, it's a tiny, tiny thing. And I want to give it to you. And
Yes,
there you go.
I love this.
What does it say?
Hey! Bitch.
Hey! And I want to be very clear to my homegirl, Veronica Barella. We know the race didn't go how it went, but we have your pin too, because honestly, Veronica Barella, the OG, and she is. And so I can't wait to see like what she does next. But like, I know we all gonna be rocking our boss ass bitch pins. Ew!
Yes, thank you.
All right, so I'll get back here in a week and a half. I love my people, running with my girls. Shouts out. Tell me when to cut. Tell me when to cut. Tell me when to cut.